What is the one thing that Jesus taught more than anything else? The kingdom. The kingdom is near. The kingdom is here. The kingdom is at hand. The kingdom is amongst you. Jesus said, I must proclaim the good news of the kingdom of God to the other towns also, for this is why I was sent. All this to a people under oppression and occupation. See, the Jews had been under the rule of the Romans for 100 years before Jesus showed up proclaiming his good news of the kingdom. Great news for a captive nation, sick and tired of harassment and tyranny. With a kingdom would come a king who would fight for their freedom, overthrow the enemy, establish his rule and reign, take control of the seat of power, establish law and order, bring peace to their lives. Game on, let's have it, they thought. Don't get me wrong, Jesus came to achieve all this, but get Jesus wrong, they did. The kingdom was almost unrecognizable from the expectations of the Jews. See, Jesus had not come to restore the kingdom of the Jews, but to establish the kingdom of God. And therefore a kingdom that was not of earthly origin, with a king who was God, defined by his very characteristics of love and peace and righteousness. A kingdom where the blessed are the poor, the mourning and the meek, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, the merciful, the pure in heart, the peacemakers and the persecuted. All this founded by a king who could not contradict the very nature of the kingdom he sought to establish. A king who became poor to establish a kingdom for the poor. A man of sorrows who came to establish a kingdom for the mourning. A king who humbled himself to establish a kingdom for the meek, who went hungry to make a kingdom fit for the starving, who was hated to make ready a kingdom for the persecuted, the cursed, who came to establish a kingdom for the condemned. This is an upside down kingdom. A kingdom so upside down that we are called to love our enemies and pray for our persecutors. A kingdom where gaining is found in losing, where true life is found in dying, where the weak things of the world shame the wise, where the first are the last and the last are the first. The greatest shall be the youngest, and the ruler shall be a servant of all. This is a kingdom for the least, the last, and the lost. An upside down kingdom with an upside down king, who, being in very nature God, did not see equality with God as something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing, taking the very nature of a servant and being made in human likeness. And being found in the appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. And we are invited by the King into his upside down kingdom, to live by a new set of rules, to be ruled by a new kind of ruler. And like his upside down kingdom, we are to live in an upside down manner. The theologian A.W. Tozer said this: the Christian, a real Christian, is an odd number anyway. He feels supreme love for one he's never seen, talks familiarly every day to someone he cannot see, expects to go to heaven on the virtues of another, empties himself in order to be full, admits he's wrong so he can be declared right, goes down so he can go up, is strongest when he is weakest, is richest when he is poorest, is happiest when he feels the worst. He dies so he can live, forsakes in order to have, gives away so he can keep, sees the invisible, hears the inaudible, and knows that which passes knowledge. We are to be an upside down kind of people, to follow an upside down king who comes into our brokenness, and we are to follow him into the brokenness of this world. We need to take the walk, to follow an upside down king, about establishing his upside down kingdom. We can be like him and work with him and his mission to bring in the broken, to make a kingdom for the poor and the hungry, the persecuted and the hurting. We are to be his subjects, made in his image, about his business. Go after the King and be a part of his kingdom.